Okay, let's kick off this deep dive. You probably saw the headlines, Circle stock. Well, it popped pretty significantly.
Oh yeah, over 10% just on Wednesday. And that's on top of a solid run since they went public.
Exactly. And Circle, of course, is the company behind USDC, the stablecoin.
And what's really driving this, according to the sources we looked at, isn't just market sentiment. There are two specific big news items.
That's what we want to unpack. First, there's this new partnership in Brazil with a fintech, Matera.
Right.
And second, USDC going fully native on WorldChain, which is linked to Sam Altman's WorldCoin.
Two very different but significant moves.
So our mission here is to get into what these actually are based on the source material and figure out why they're apparently such a big deal for Circle.
Makes sense. Let's start with Brazil, Matera.
Okay, so Matera, they're a Brazilian fintech firm. What's the core of this deal?
It seems they're enabling banks in Brazil to offer multicurrency accounts, which sounds standard, but there's a twist. It's not just Brazilian reals and US dollars. The banks using Matera's platform can hold reals, dollars, and Circle's USDC.
All in the same place for the bank's customers.
Exactly, all within the same environment. Matera manages this with their digital twin real-time ledger tech.
Digital twin.
Think of it like a dynamic mirror system for different assets. And the key benefit for the banks, highlighted in the source, is they get USDC capabilities without needing to build, all the complicated blockchain plumbing themselves.
Right, which is usually a huge barrier.
Definitely.
And does this connect locally?
Yes, the source mentions it links up with Pix, Brazil's real-time payment system, which is huge there.
So you could potentially use USDC for Pix transactions via these banks.
That seems to be the implication, yeah. Making USDC usable in everyday payments, potentially. And the Matera CEO, Carlos Neto, had a quote emphasizing this. He said, interoperability between stablecoins and local accounts is becoming, central to finance.
Not just a side thing anymore.
No. He called it a game changer for global operations. Near instant, low-cost settlement. That kind of potential.
Okay, so that's USDC getting deeper into traditional banking infrastructure in a major economy. Now, let's switch tracks completely. WorldChain.
Right. Sam Altman's WorldCoin network.
So what's the news there?
USDC is now issued natively by Circle directly onto WorldChain. It's not a bridged asset anymore.
Native, meaning it's the real deal USDC on that chain.
Exactly. And this affects quite a few people. WorldChain reportedly has 27 million users.
Wow. And the source said something about users already holding USDC.
Yeah, about 2 million users apparently had a bridged version that's now being upgraded to this native Circle-issued USDC.
Okay, and how does this work technically? Anything specific mentioned?
A key piece is Circle's cross-chain transfer protocol, CCTP. That's now live for WorldChain.
ZCTP.
Yeah.
And that lets users
move their native USDC smoothly between WorldChain and other blockchains like Ethereum, without needing those sometimes clunky bridges.
Got it. And just for context, how do people join this world network, according to the source?
Well, the source states users typically scan their eyes to prove they're human, sometimes using a device called an orb for identity verification, and they can get WLD token rewards for it.
Okay. Sticking to what the source says there. And are people actually using USDC on WorldChain already?
Apparently, yes. The source points to uses like remittances and within these things called mini apps for payments and e-commerce.
Interesting. And the source also touched on World's U.S. launch and some regulatory issues abroad.
Yeah, and mentioned the U.S. debut, but also noted, neutrally, that there have been probes elsewhere regarding data collection, leading to suspensions in some places. But clearly they're moving forward with integrations like this Circle One.
Okay, so let's connect the dots. We have USDC integrating deeply with traditional banks in Brazil via Matera and Pix.
And simultaneously becoming a native asset on this very different digitally native WorldChain network focused on identity and microtransactions.
It really shows stablecoins pushing boundaries on two fronts at once, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You see practical applications emerging in both established finance, like potentially smoother global payments for banks.
And in these newer digital economies, powering things like remittances and online commerce on WorldChain.
And this is why it matters to you, the listener. These aren't just abstract crypto developments. They're steps towards stablecoins becoming, well, more embedded and practical tools for moving and holding value globally.
Right. It's about accessibility and utility in the real world, both the traditional and the new digital one. These partnerships seem to highlight Circle's strategy for getting USDC used everywhere.
Integrating into existing financial plumbing while also fueling completely new blockchain-based models.
So wrapping this up, it really leaves you with a thought based purely on what these sources describe.
If stablecoins can sit comfortably next to traditional money in a bank account and also power tiny global payments on a network accessed by, say, an iScan, what does that actually suggest about where money itself is heading? What might its future form and function look like?